is the Wannabe Saints podcast, where we take virtues and try to break them down so they become tangible and applicable to your life.
We aren't here to bring you advice, we're here to bring you virtue. I'm Jordan.
And I'm Rachel.
We're your hosts,
and this is Wannabe Saints. Welcome back to Wannabe Saints, everybody. Tonight we have three special guests. Our first ever big recording.
Yeah. Triple interview.
A triple interview on, it's really motherhood, but the patience of motherhood was the initial idea behind this episode. The three women that are on tonight are all related to me, Rachel, and it's my mom and my sister Becca and my sister Natalie. I'll let them introduce themselves in a second, but the idea behind this episode was that they are three people who have 6 kids and who I see, which I'm lucky to watch many, many, many moms, but who just have a lot of joy and patience in their parenting. So anyways, that's the idea behind this, so that people can feel like, oh, I'm not alone in these struggles, or I'm not alone in this hard sacrifice, or all of that. So from 3 moms who look like they have it all together, to hear exactly, to hear from them the hard times, but also the good. Mom, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Cindy. I am a mother of 6, the oldest being 42, who is here with us, Natalie, and the youngest, Rachel, who's 27.
Mm-hmm.
And I have 6 children, and 5 of them are married, which gives me 5 more children for a total of 11 adult children in my life.
Mm-hmm.
That's big. And how many grandchildren now?
And 26 grandchildren.
Wow.
And 1 more on the way that I know about.
Because you just never know. You just never know.
It's true.
Right. It's just a blessing from above.
Natalie, now would be a good time to announce if you wanted to.
And if you're listening, I know you would die.
So funny. Becca, why don't you go?
I'm Becca. I am the middle child. I think I'm 32. I lose track. I have 6 children, and number 7 is on the way. My oldest is 10, and my youngest is 18 months, so they are pretty close together. And I'm a homeschooling mother. That's new, too.
So get over that crown.
Yeah.
Natalie?
And I'm Natalie, and I'm 42.
The oldest of the 6.
You aged me the other night, so I'm willing to admit my age. I
I
also have 6 kids. My oldest is 17. He's going to be a senior in high school, and the baby is 9.
Going on 19.
Going on 19, certainly. So we're in our teen years.
Yeah.
Everybody's a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Very it feels like season. It is.
When does she turn 10 for all of them to be officially double digits?
May.
Okay, so
yeah.
1 more year.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
I did joke a long time ago that we were going to have all teenagers almost at the same time. Like Emma will be 12 teen and Eli will be practically turning 20. Which is still teenage.
Yep, right.
Like, it's going to be nutty. I need lots of prayers.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. So, we're not going to dive into the virtue of patience and what it is, or joy, or sacrifice, or, all of the virtues it takes to be a mom. This is just an episode of getting to hear real life experience of what it takes to be a mother, especially a mother of a lot of kids, because it's so many virtues that come up in your day-to-day life that you have no choice but to grow in, so otherwise you're just angry. So
that's the way to live.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a lot of hats in motherhood.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's from laundry to chef to doctor and teacher, bus driver, taxi.
All 3 are currently stay at home, but a couple of you have at least worked a little bit while also being a mom. So we can also get to that for people.
Cool.
So, all right, sweet. Let's just go for it.
Yeah.
So, first question, opening question. If anyone didn't see the reel that I made, let's just start there. Give one word to describe your current season of motherhood.
For me, blessed. Just blessed. All the blessings God has given us through our 6 children and now 26 grandchildren.
I chose demanding. I think all motherhood phases are demanding, so I don't want to demean any other phase of motherhood. But having the 6 littles, they're all still pretty dependent. They're close together, all still young. You know, I need a lot of help to go do things still. And now with homeschooling and also having a baby, it's just a lot of needs and different kinds of needs. So I would definitely say, yeah, demanding.
And mine's navigating. And that is definitely because I feel like in the last year or so, it's changed so much that I once felt like it was demanding, and now nobody needs me the same, but yet I'm just as exhausted and figuring out how to raise teenagers amid attitude and
And the technology of the
but
world.
yes, technology certainly.
Pushing limits.
Mhm.
And
Yeah. Having a son
It's
that
just-
drives now, like
Yeah.
just all the new fears that come with that.
Definitely. Yeah, it's a new chapter,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah. Well, it's good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Jordan, what would you say yours is?
Ooh. Exciting because it's all just starting still.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess exciting and intriguing what kind of struggles are to come, but all the joys that come too. And,
Yeah.
you know, the excitement of this baby coming and
Growing your family.
yeah.
And
all
your
that.
son is just like only cute and not like
It's so cute.
Yes.
It's so fun and
Not-
so cute.
not
Yeah.
doing all the naughty things yet.
Oh, he does
Yeah.
some nutty things,
Yeah.
but you know, only
Yeah.
as naughty as a 2-year-old-ish
Yeah.
can get.
And it's still cute sometimes when they're naughty. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of
It's like you
funny.
do something
Yeah.
and it's like, no!
And you're
And
like,
you're
not
like
when-
trying so hard not to laugh.
Don't
Yeah.
see me laughing at
Uh-huh.
the same time.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yep.
So when you first became a mom, what surprised you most, both good and the hard? If you can think back to when you first became a mom.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, a very long time ago.
Yeah, even longer for you, Mom.
Thinking back for me, when I reflected on this, the good was just the awe of God in that He used us to create a new life,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then just holding a new baby, and the heart is then the realization that now I'm responsible
Mm.
for this life. I have to make sure I figure out how to raise this baby, this child.
Yeah, that's good. I would just echo what Mom said. The weight of responsibility is that big thing. And yeah, feeling in awe for sure. I remember leaving the hospital or about to leave the hospital, and Chris and I look at each other. We're like, you're just going to let us leave? You know,
Yeah.
like, we know what we're doing. But then at the same time, it also comes very natural. And it's just really neat to see your instincts kick in and then using others around you to help learn how to care for a child. It's special.
Yes, I would definitely agree. The easiest part was, yes, deciding to have a baby and loving the baby. But I remember going to whatever class my doctor sent me to and going, no, wait, I'm not having a baby like this. And that fear setting in of having the baby. But then once it was over, just, yes, like being in awe of how much even you could love somebody else. I mean, choosing a spouse is so much different than having a baby and falling in love with the baby instantaneously. And that was the easiest part. And then the hard part, realizing it's a lot of work. I remember getting to Eli's first birthday and being like, oh my gosh, it is a celebration. We kept you alive for an entire year. We did it. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
funny. I just have a quick question. I want you two to compare the first phases of motherhood because you were the oldest, the first one to have any kids.
So true.
And your oldest is like the same age as her youngest.
She was
Yeah.
helping me with all of my babies when
Yeah.
I was having babies. Yeah. I wrote about, I was reflecting on this earlier today, that my experience of having kids is so much different. I admire Becca so much in how she lets her little ones take care of her babies. And I came into having babies with no friends, hardly, like maybe friends had a baby, but nobody had a big family yet. I was the first one having kids so fast. And then the only one who had many littles. And so I was definitely more, like rigid and cautious and worrisome, nervous.
Yeah, a good example. Tell everybody about your first trip with Eli. With all the baby stuff.
Oh, yes.
That's a good
When we went
example.
away.
Yes.
Exactly. Okay,
Yeah.
so we were going to Frankenmuth, Michigan, and it was our first outing with Eli, and I had to have everything. Eli had a routine in the day of being fed, like swinging in a swing, going in the bouncer, tummy time. We just had a routine of the day, and I was not willing to break that routine. So Tim had a Chevy Avalanche, and we had that whole back end filled. We brought the bouncer, the swing, the pack and play. Oh, I think I brought bottles and a dishcloth and dish soap and everything to like wash all those. It was ridiculous. I never brought that much for a baby ever again on any trip. But I was like, I am not going to rock this boat. We are keeping our routine for the day, and we're going to, because this is what is working.
That's amazing.
It's so funny.
Yeah. And I would have to say, I think it's hard to go first.
It is hard.
I definitely, I think I was given like a leg up,
It's not bad.
having to watch siblings go first because you observe. And I definitely, a lot of my parenting, I think, was absorbed by watching you guys. So I'm grateful for it. I learned a lot. So by the time I had Isaac, my first, it was like, I honestly, I know a lot of women say their first is really hard, and I did not have that experience. I felt the beginning chapters of my parenting motherhood felt easy. It felt like an easy transition.
You're like, I was meant for
I had
this.
more confidence than maybe some other moms
Than I
might.
did.
I had a lot of experience with my nieces and nephews at the time from all the babysitting and all the time with them. So I definitely am grateful and have been blessed to have that privilege to watch you guys go first. So thank you for taking one for the team.
That's definitely how I feel as the youngest
Yeah.
in my family having kids. Like,
You learn what to do and what not to do.
yeah, comparing myself to so many other first-time moms, I feel like a fifth-time mom already with my first because I see how chill all of my siblings are with their later on pregnancies and babies that I'm like, why worry about things? Why stress?
Such
Like,
a blessing.
you experience so much from
Mhm.
watching the older ones have kids.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move into some categories. So I'm going to read off the sections that we're going to do, and then people can skip to what feels relevant to them since there's three of you. So we're going to go through growing your family, the fear and the faith that took to have. We're going to go through patience and how it's a daily offering. We're going to go through joy and choosing to have joy in the ordinary. We're going to go through some hardship and suffering questions. We're going to go through the gift of motherhood. And then we're going to go through current fears and fear of the future that you might have. The mundane and overwhelm of the everyday life of being a mom. And then it's closing reflections. And at the I'll probably actually say that for the very last, and we'll squeeze in there questions that a couple people did write in.
Okay.
So that they know where to go for their question. Sweet. So, Jordan, you want to ask the first question?
Yeah. So with each new pregnancy, did you feel a fresh wave of fear or doubt? Like, can I really do this again? And how did that shift with experience?
For me, Natalie and Katie are 13 months apart. So I definitely had fear because we use natural family planning, and all of a sudden I didn't know what I was doing. For them to be 13 months apart, I always thought I knew what I was doing, but obviously I didn't. And so with that,
And plus, didn't it take you a while to get pregnant with Natalie in the first
yes,
place? You're like,
you're right.
well, it'll probably be a while. We should
Right.
be kind of safe.
Right, exactly. So God gave us a big surprise. And then through pregnancy, I can remember how am I ever going to love this child as much as I love Natalie, being the firstborn? It was like, Lord, how can I love another baby? It's just that wonder of another life and that fear that I wouldn't. But in an instant, you have that baby, that second child, third child, fourth child, you have the love.
Yeah.
You have the love. It's a never ending. It's just, a love for every child that's immense and equal per se. Yeah. So anyway, that was my biggest fear, is would I be able to love my second child as much as I loved my first child?
Yeah.
And you didn't find out until your last child that you do love one more than the rest.
Maybe you would say
Leave
that,
it for the
Rachel.
baby to
The
say
baby
that.
got the family. Rachel,
Just kidding.
yes, Rachel loves to claim that.
Sorry, I derailed that. Okay, continue.
I would say I have a different perspective of fear. With each new life, I'm having number 7 now. And I would be like, wow, I feel like, Lord, this is very trusting of you to give me number 7. We're super excited about it. But the fear of what other people think has plagued me and my personality. This is just something God is pushing me to overcome, because I am so happy to have all these babies. I'm happy to have 10 or 12. I don't have a number. So is Christopher. But the fear of, disapproving comments or thoughts and opinions, and those bother me. But in time, this is number 7 now, so I'm developing a thicker skin. And I can feel that God is toughening me up. And I just know, this is what He's called us to. And I am all for it. I just need to get past my care about what other people think. I need to only care about what God thinks.
Oh, I was totally that way too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we get it from you, because
Yeah.
I have the same. I'm going to
Ditto. Once I was pregnant with number 4, the comments started.
Yes.
It's belittling, intimidating.
I have a huge cousins group chat. And one day they were all putting in their stories of the comments that they get. And I might butcher this story a little bit, but one of them said that some man saw her walking through the store with her 6 or 7 kids or whatever. And he's like, I don't envy you at all. And she's like, well, you should. And he totally just shut down. And I'm pretty sure that it was as they were leaving the grocery store, he's like, I do envy you. I wish I had that kind of joy and a family and everything, because I don't have that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I always thought of comebacks after the grocery
Yes.
store.
After.
It's not fair.
No.
It's why? Well, so our whole childbearing years, not that I'm out of them, but we haven't had a baby in 9 years. We had 3 under 3 for a short time. And so once Eli was born, he was 9 months, and then we were pregnant with Abby. And then Abby was 6 months old when we found out we were pregnant with Owen. And I remember not telling anybody for months because I just was embarrassed. I'm like, we don't know what we're doing. We can't space our babies at all. And I already have a baby, and I'm going to have another baby. And then babies just kept coming. So I definitely lived more out of fear, and like you, Mom, operated off of without even knowing that's how you operated. If I did take all my kids to the grocery store, I would not make eye contact with people, because that opens them to, wow, you have your hands full. Yes, I do. I'm trying to keep it corralled. No, I don't know. It was definitely always fearful finding out we were having another, because God planned all of them. We planned not a single one. Yep. God planned all of them. And I don't know. It just always felt like, Lord, clearly you think I can do this, because surely I don't think I can, but you have more faith in me than I have in myself. And here we are. I wouldn't have it any other way.
Right.
Yeah.
You have
We
a beautiful
survived.
family.
Yeah. And we're doing it.
Yes, exactly. They're all a blessing. All of them.
So, going off of that, what kinds of worries surfaced with each child, logistically, emotionally, or spiritually, and how did you work through them?
I think with each child, for me, it's definitely my inability to be who I want to be for them. I guess fear, just passing on weaknesses and my flaws coming out. It's humbling and difficult yeah, that's definitely something that creeps up for me.
Just because I know these things, Becca, with this question, and so not even when it's like, oh, I'm pregnant, here's fears that arise, or how am I going to manage blah, 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 or I'm worried about being able to give in this way. How about in the times for you when you've already had the baby and you're in, we could have another, but I don't maybe feel ready yet. How do you kind of deal with the emotions or like the fear or, you know, that part of NFP that a lot of people struggle with of, I just had one, or my baby's a baby, or when am I ready, or how do I know I'm ready, or, you know, that kind of level of trust and surrender. You and I have talked about this a lot. So if you're comfortable sharing that.
Know how to deal with discerning the next one, basically when I'm not necessarily ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or how you just deal with those fears even of just like, because with NFP, you're never fully in control.
Yeah.
So Ed says no future plans.
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think it's the marriage dynamic plays a big role in this. For me, Chris is so ready to have another baby that it's good for me to, as obviously as a woman, we're going through so much having babies. So he's patient and honors that. But yeah, it's good for me to kind of push myself to not act too much out of selfishness, which is the whole point of NFP, right? So I think it can be tough. There's always times right after I have a baby that I'm like, like I cannot do this right now and I need some time. But honestly, I just pray about it all the time. All right, Lord, I don't feel I'm not totally there yet, but change my heart, open my heart, you know, that you just keep moving me in that direction. And thanks be to God, He's provided that grace for me each baby. I've been able to be as ready as you can be. Can we all really be? How ready can we be? But as ready as my heart needed to be for each pregnancy. I've been very excited. So
Beautiful.
I don't know if that.
No, that's good. Yeah. I mean, even when I've talked to you, often it's like, I'm not feeling ready yet. I know that we could. Realistically, big picture, you look at it, I'm like, yeah, I probably could have another baby right now.
Yeah.
But I kind of not ready for that mentally yet. And that, yeah, you really do pray through those things. But then it's like, it always is true that right when you're like, okay, I think I can do this, you know, have another, it's like, boom, baby.
Yeah.
I love it. Even though it's such a different experience than mine, but it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Right.
And different than mine because after Katie, you know, between Katie and Nick, there's 4 years. And I can remember being ready when Katie was 2 and it wasn't happening and it wasn't happening and it wasn't happening. And then I had the fear of, Lord, do you really only want us to have 2?
Yeah.
In my heart, I always wanted to have 6 because I was one of 6 and life was joyful with the 6 of us girls. My parents did what I think was a great job. Sure, there were, you know, bumps in life, but, you know, overall our family had joy. So I wanted 6. And then, during that time frame of not being pregnant for so many months after months, it's like that I had fear of, I'm not going to have any more. Yeah. And so God, you know, truly God plans the family. He does.
I believe that I have no experience other than what I see. And it's like what I see is the God's design in families.
Yeah.
And when a couple is practicing NFP and frequenting the sacraments, striving for holiness and His will and want that, it just happens. Like Natalie, you had 6 kids in
8 years.
In 8 years, and nothing has changed other than God just was like, all right, as of right now, you have 6 kids.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's like nothing changed.
Oh, don't we remember talking about God opens and closes the womb? Like you had years where you didn't get pregnant even before me. I mean, how many of us kids have gotten pregnant in the first year of marriage? And you and Dad didn't conceive me until you were already 3 years married. And then you have a few gaps of a few years with some miscarriage, but still, you know, and I thought for sure, I'm like, oh my gosh, at this rate, I'm going to have so many babies. And I just always think of Jim Gaffigan's joke about like, what's it like to have another baby? It's like you're treading water and then somebody throws you another baby. And you're like, that was my life. I was like, I'm still treading water, trying to stay afloat.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a miscarriage after Emma, and Emma's 9, so that's 8 years ago. So in 8 years, we haven't had another baby. So then I'm like, Lord, you do open and close the womb. You are in control because, I'm practicing NFP. There's always a chance, but it just has not happened.
Yeah. It's not his will for everybody to have 10, 12 kids. I just feel like people need to know that too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and God brings you peace, right? He brings you he's the desires of your heart, and he knows you want to have a bigger family, and take into consideration my spouse, like he's content, I'm at peace not having any more if that's what God wills. And so it just is.
Yep. God does.
That's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. No, because I told you guys, with Dad, after having our third one, after having Nick, he was done. And when I think about that, it's like, how can you decide you're done? It's in reality, it's like, how do you decide that?
Said Ron was done after this.
Yeah, right.
He was like, all right, I think that's enough.
Right. And we were practicing natural family planning. God's
funny.
God's in charge, I know. But God worked on Ron's heart, on Dad's heart, and then all of a sudden he's saying, "Yep, I want another," and then more came. 3 more came.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, I know. But God worked in the timing of Dad's heart.
Yeah, and God cares about that too.
Yeah.
Okay, so going with this, for people who are like, yeah, that's great, good for you, it's worked out, awesome, and they're in the midst of the fear, and they're in the midst of the I'm not ready, or whatever emotion they're sitting in, dealing with, I don't want more, but like I'm probably gonna have more. What kind of advice would you give to those people?
Yeah, that God wills each life, and you take solace in that God willed this baby, or the next baby if you're not pregnant yet, but fear it, that every life is willed by God. And if he gives you a baby, he will also provide the graces needed to care for that baby. And then this is just a blip of time. You feel this way now, but you will feel very differently later. And that's guaranteed.
It's the famous line. I don't know if it's an actual famous line, but nobody regrets having another baby, but so many people regret not having any more babies.
So true.
Or
Mm-hmm.
making the decision to end that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's never a good idea to make permanent decisions when in a moment of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially I feel like those decisions are made in like a time of stress or chaos,
Mhm.
and they're like, cut it off.
Yeah.
We're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those that like don't
Yeah.
do natural family planning, and then they're like, I wish I could have had another.
Yeah,
I
well,
wish
Father
I'd
Mike
offset.
Schmitz,
People say that.
even in the general discernment, he says, don't discern something in a time of chaos and crisis. You discern in a time of peace, not when, like, if you discern something in a time of peace and you're like, this is good, and then that thing happened, and then it caused you fear and anxiety and to feel chaotic and whatever. He's like, don't go rediscern it. You don't go rediscern something you discerned in a time that was good, that was at peace.
Yeah.
You have to
That's
trust
like
that.
when you have a baby and somebody asks you if you're going to have more, and you're like,
This baby's a day old. Can I just hold this one?
God doesn't give you a desire to have another when you just had one.
Yeah,
It's the
for
baby.
sure.
Right.
Yeah.
It will come in time
Mm-hmm.
because it is.
But
a
in that
transition
chaos
time.
that you're living at the time, you have really to truly have to make some time to pray, and ask God
Totally.
to touch your heart. But at the same time, because I lived a time where having a 5th one was
Taboo.
yes, it was, and it was hard, and I was not pleased because the neighborhood which I lived in was everyone had 2, and so I didn't fit the mold, and the comments had increased, and so I was mad at God for giving me a number 5. Now it's going to make me cry, but the priest told me it's okay to be mad at God It means you have a relationship with him.
Mm.
And in that relationship, you talk to him. You give him all your fears and you share with him your struggles or your disappointments or what's on your heart because he's your best friend. And in that, he returns grace to you to find joy, to accept it and grow through it. And he brings you people who bring you joy and to support you. God, it's amazing how God works within that. And then, like the priest told me, but when finally you come to terms, you do need to apologize to God. You tell him you're sorry for
that
having.
was wise.
Yes,
Yes.
you do have to say you're sorry, and that yes, you love this. You love what
That's
he's
sweet.
doing in your family and your life. But yeah, I had 3 beautiful friends who helped me through that pregnancy and with such joy and excitement for me. That God brought them close to my heart and just helped me through carrying number 5 so that I could receive the baby with great joy. And he's the one who has the most
laughter.
Yes, the most laughter,
the goofiest one.
in the
Makes us
family.
all laugh.
Yep, he's crazy.
Do you mind sharing a little bit, though, because of that anger, how that affected the first year or two of
Of his life,
of his life with you, if you don't mind?
No, I can't.
Okay.
I can. Yeah, because I had been angry with God during my pregnancy. It affected the baby. It affected my son in our relationship as a toddler, as a 1.5, 2-year-old. He loved his daddy. Daniel just loved his daddy. And anytime I tried to correct or take care of him, he was angry. Just really this undescribable anger for a 2-year-old. And it was always pointedly at me and never at his dad and never at anybody else. And I would share it with my sister and she wouldn't believe it. And then one day she had come for confirmation of one of my other kids and she got to see it in the car because I was trying to put him in the car seat and he just wouldn't have it. So then I had heard of healing the family tree and how things, in generational sin, you can sometimes need to seek healing for the future generations. But within that, I went up to the priest after a retreat and asked him, I said, Father, can my anger at God affect the baby I had? Because my son, I'm really struggling with my son. And he said, yes. The anger I had at God can transcend the womb, and the baby can feel the anger you have at carrying girl or boy. And so they gave me the advice to do a novena of 9 masses, presenting my son on the altar at offertory. He told me to mentally and emotionally walk Daniel up the aisle, place him on the altar, and say, Jesus, I give you my son. Please remove all the wounds I caused him. Please remove all the arrows he received during pregnancy because of my lack of joy, of being mad at God. And after that novena of 9 masses, because I took Daniel every day with me to Mass and mentally did this every day, on that 10th day, that night when I put Daniel to bed, I went back in there to check on him, and he had put all his stuffed animals on his pillow, and he had the smallest corner that he was tucked in. And I said, Daniel, what are you doing? Why aren't you in the middle of your bed? And he said, because I love them, Mama, and I want to share it. And it was the first that I saw Daniel have love towards something and love towards me. And after that, our relationship changed and he was joyful. We had a great relationship and God healed his heart and healed mine. And Daniel, I just love Daniel. He's my zany boy and brings me lots of laughter and joy and son. Yeah. And
He's a mama's boy still.
Yeah. And he has 3 of his own now, but he's the one who made Becca laugh all the time.
Oh, yeah.
He was the jokester and she was the audience. But yes, God heals. God heals. Any emotion you might be feeling with a pregnancy that you're not thrilled with. Give it to God and talk to
Yeah.
God about
Wrestle
it.
with God. That's
Right,
really
right.
good advice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wrestle with God, just like the Old Testament,
Yep.
you know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Still guessing.
Yeah.
It's good. Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Looking back, can you share a moment when God provided in a totally unexpected way as your family grew?
Oh, well, when we lived in Omaha, we went through financial struggles, big time. And you kids know it. Dad was traveling a lot to provide for us, to the point that Becca's 4 years old and we take Dad to the airport. And as he flies away, she says, "He was a nice man."
That's so sad.
I know.
He wasn't even
so
dad.
Dad, I know, because that's how much he traveled.
I love you, Dad.
Yes, I know.
Eugene?
Yeah, right. That dad will always say, "I love you, Dad."
Yeah.
Say, "I love you, Mom." "I love you, Dad." Say, "I love you, Mom." "I love you, Dad." And for Becca, it was like, he was a nice man, you know. But anyway, we struggled financially. And God provided through 3 holy friends, often out of the blue, you know, just sending a financial gift, you know, to get us through. One of the funny stories is we needed diapers. This is how tough it was sometimes. And Rachel was the baby, and Dad was gone, and there was no money in the bank for a package of diapers. And, you know, it's just at the end, you know. And I go to the mailbox, and I have an aunt who sends a congratulations card. And in it is $7. And my friend would go, "Who sends $7?" It's like,
That's a package of
the
diapers.
diapers. Yes, it was a package of diapers. And I loaded up 6 kids and we drove to the store and bought a package of diapers. And that's how God has provided us so many times in the bleak, and thinking, okay, how are we going to survive? And somehow, some way, you know, someone provided. Dad in Omaha, Dad stopped and changed the lady's tire. She was all by herself. And so we pull over, all of us sit in the car while Dad goes and helps her change her tire. This is after Mass, and 6 of you, and we're all sitting in the car.
Yep, waiting.
Waiting for Dad to change her tire. And she wants to pay, and he goes, no, yeah, no, just go on your way, you know, and God bless you, or whatever Dad would say. And anyway, somehow Dad probably shared his name, but she found where we lived. And we weren't home, and we come home, and there was an envelope in the door, and she had wrote a note, "Thanks for your help in changing my tire." And in it was $40, which was a big thing for us in buying groceries. It was like, you know, she didn't need to do that. Come find us, find where we live, and find that envelope in the door. So you had so many little ways that, just that God provided often. You know,
I mean, I even remember there was a month where it was like, we're not going to make rent this month. And a friend of the family who Dad had helped so much decided out of nowhere to send a check in the mail for all Dad has done over the years for him. Just out of the goodness of his heart. And it was the exact amount we needed for rent.
Yep. You know, so yes, God has provided us in many unexpected ways. Now, and in humility, it's never the way you would like it, you know.
But it was instrumental in all of our lives, because through that I learned to trust
100%.
and just like, I'm not going to worry about this. I'm just going to trust in God, because I already saw in my life, I already know He's going to provide no matter what.
So true. That was like a massive example.
It was.
Or for my faith was just somehow He always provides and it always works out.
Yeah. Always.
Yeah.
And often in the 11th hour. That's how He stretches us. You know, you pray, you depend on Him, and it's not going to be there right away.
It's like
you
the
have to.
birds of the air.
Yes, right. So, but He stretches, makes you stretch. Say, do you love me? Do you believe in me? Do you trust me? You know.
That's so good. I'm so grateful too for those experiences growing up, because they've obviously formed all of us. Because Chris would be fine with me saying this. We aren't thriving yet financially. He's working really hard, and discerning where God is going to take us next. But I refuse to let it keep me from having another baby, you know? Like, I'm just like, no, he has provided every time, all the time. He always has. I watched it growing up. That was so monumental. Made God so extra real. I already knew he was real, you know? But it was like, oh my gosh, how could you doubt, you know? That's how it felt.
No, it's true.
Because it's so crazy, his providence. And Chris and I are experiencing that now between the generosity of family and friends and how no need has been left unmet. And I trust that he's going to provide for the next needs. So I don't really worry about that.
Mhm.
And I know that's a gift of my childhood. So yeah, I'm just grateful that we also got to be a part of the struggle.
Uh-huh.
You
I
know?
am too.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually feel sorry for my children that they don't have that experience of seeing that and witnessing that firsthand. You know, they're going to come from a generation that's like more entitled, or they don't go without hardly. And yeah, it's really hard to know how to teach that when through the gifts of others or just being a product of being able to afford things they have too much.
I think
It makes me
though.
sad for them.
Well, yeah, but I think that that's where you're teaching them something that is
Different.
so different.
Yeah.
You're teaching them generosity because you have the means you give, you know?
And detachment and
Yeah.
different virtues
Of
come
just-
with having.
Well, hopefully,
Thanks, yeah.
we're trying.
No, I do
See.
think that that's true. It's just like you and Tim are some of the most generous people I've ever met in my entire life and probably ever will meet.
Yeah.
It's just true.
Yeah.
So it's just a
True.
different type of virtue or detachment or whatever that you're teaching.
Mhm.
Mom and dad's, their hand was kind of forced, you know, into
Yep.
trust. And now because you grew up that way, you get to show your kids just because you have this doesn't mean it's all yours.
Yeah.
Be the giving and loving and generous person.
Yeah. So good.
Mhm.
It's good.
True. And grateful. Within all that, God teaches gratitude.
On either end.
Yeah,
On both
either
ends,
end.
for
Yep.
sure, because it did teach me gratitude.
Mhm.
I quit caring about the little things and you know,
Yeah.
you
Definitely
learn.
teaches you gratitude.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. And you want to pass that on to your kids.
Definitely.
Yeah.
My unexpected way,
That God provided.
yes, that I didn't even know was different. It's so different. And I wasn't even thinking providing like tangibly so much as when we were moving. I had just had Emma, and she was 2 weeks old. Well, we were pregnant with her when we started house hunting and thinking we were going to move. And lo and behold, in that time frame of us putting our house on the market, looking for a different house in the area of McHenry or whatever, we were close by to Mom and to Katie, and so we were looking in that area. And then in that same time frame, our house hadn't sold. Mom and Dad are moving. Katie's moving. Both are leaving the area, and Tim and I were like, we're not being left behind. So we looked elsewhere and out of our town for a house and found our house in Hampshire. And I didn't know it at the time, but I was definitely on an island in motherhood. I didn't have friends with lots of kids. And my only source of relief or help was in sisters, but I didn't have community and didn't know that I didn't know that was missing. I didn't know I needed that. And moving to Hampshire and finding people that also had big families and were warm and welcoming and bringing me into community was something I didn't know I needed. And so in all of our marriage, I feel like that was, and raising kids, like that was the biggest gift. I couldn't tangibly say I was on an island, but I was, and I was probably going to drown without joy in motherhood if we didn't move and didn't find community.
Like-minded
And
people.
Yes.
Yeah.
and
Beautiful.
people.
Yeah, that's
That's
so
awesome.
good. Yeah, that's
So
amazing.
that I'm so grateful. Yeah.
That's good.
Beautiful.
It is a really good community out here.
It is.
Yeah, I do love it.
Yeah.
So if you could summarize what growing your family has taught you about trust, what would it be?
I'm silly to doubt the Lord.
Yeah, God's
And
in
his
charge.
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And God's in charge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That
is the best plans, even when they're not your plan.
Right.
Yeah. And that if
Truly.
he calls you to it, he'll call you through it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll give you what
Yeah.
you need.
Yes.
Yep.
I,
And he knows what you're capable of more than, and we are the worst. We just doubt ourselves the most.
right.
Yeah.
And in my young years of raising all of you, and people would say, "Oh, how do you even handle having 6?" Or "I couldn't handle that." And I'd always say, "Well, God doesn't give you the patience for 6 when you only have 2. The patience comes with each child. With every child, He gives you the grace for another one." That's how I see it.
Yeah, I have to piggyback on that because it resonates so much with homeschool, because I have so many moms will say, I don't have patience for that. I don't have patience for homeschool. I'm like, I don't either. But I am learning to have patience. It's
a
teaching me
muscle.
patience. It's just like having the next kid.
You don't just have it magically. It takes practice.
This is how I'm going to get patience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
So going off of that,
To the next category.
yeah, into patience and daily offerings. How has motherhood reshaped your understanding of patience, especially compared to what you thought it would be like?
It's harder than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I have less of it than I thought. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely, it reveals yourself a lot. So, yeah.
Reveals
It's
our shortcomings and our
Yes.
weaknesses.
Yes, it's humbling.
It is humbling.
It is humbling.
Humbling is the word.
Just the way a toddler can unravel you. And you're like, you're 2.
Yeah.
I'm crying. How? This does not make sense.
Oh.
I am the adult.
Yes,
Yes.
Dr. Dobson always said that a 2-year-old can
Right?
undo mother.
Yep.
in a
It's so
minute.
eye-opening.
Yeah.
You think you got it, and then you're crying
And you don't got it.
because a 2-year-old pushed your buttons too much.
I guess in a positive aspect, you can probably look back, and be like, well, I do have more patience than I used to, or,
Yes.
like certain things.
Yeah.
I do see growth in there. I'm sure God
Right,
sees
right.
more than we see, but
And then, well, plus as a perfectionist and trying to raise your child with what perception you have from your parents or people around you, and you want your child to be, what everybody thinks is perfect, adorable, or cute. And too much of, like, for me, in retrospect, it's like, don't sweat the small stuff. It's like there's so much I probably expected out of you kids that was unreasonable. So you learn with time. You learn that
time. You just
Learn to let go a
but
little bit.
Becca,
You let go.
I
Yeah.
feel like you're good at letting go of things.
I feel like it's been good friends too that are rubbed off on me, and you just like, that's one thing about being in California, right away. It was like being immersed in different groups of people with all kinds of various ideas of what parenthood looked like. And I didn't have my sisters out there.
Yeah,
So I was always spending time with people that weren't family. And so you do get different ideas, different ways of bringing up kids.
Mhm.
A couple good friends that I've had now for a while who are just so laid back. One of them has 9. So she's pretty amazing. And it rubs off on you, or you're like, that's inspiring. And then it just teaches you too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
So
beautiful.
I've definitely picked up things from people around me.
Yes. So go you.
I love it.
Yep.
Can you recall a recent moment when your patience was running thin? And what did you do to help yourself kind of reset?
I know what I need to do. But that's different than what I actually do.
Well, what do you need to do and what do you do?
Yeah, what I need to do is just reflect on, why am I exploding? Or why am I losing my cool? And a lot of times it's because I'm just not liking the way the day is going. That this was not what I had in mind for today. Or just, I think for me, I know it comes down to how I start my day. Was it with prayer? Did I make that time that that's the goal, to make some time for prayer before I start my day. If I don't do that, oftentimes the day is not as good. It's not like a fix-all. Like, saying your prayers doesn't make a perfect day by any means, but I don't open myself to grace, that's how I see it. I heard that once, an analogy of like being a vase, but prayer is like being an open vase for God to fill you with graces. And then I feel like I keep the lid on, I keep the lid on it. if I'm not praying and I'm like not allowing the Lord to give me what he wants to in a day. I mean, but even if I say my prayers, I still have my times when I lose patience, but I just do think I just feel a difference. And I know that I've handled things worse or better because of that.
Totally agree. If I, starting my morning before you got up with time to pray, taking the time to pray, always help the day. And if I did have those bad days where I would be in an agitated frame of mind, whether it be finances or something within our marriage life, our home life, if you guys would get home from school and I was still in this frame of mind, I would say to you, Mama's grumpy today. So you guys all need to go to your room and just read a book or go play games and have quiet time because I need to get through this so that I'm not a grumpy mom. And you guys did learn that.
Did they usually respond pretty well when you're like, I'm grumpy today?
Yes, they did. Because I
giving them a forewarning.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
please don't test me because I'm already in a bad mood.
Yes, exactly. And it did work. It did work. You'd hear one, Mom's grumpy, so don't do anything. You didn't hear him.
I'm sure that would make you giggle a little bit.
Oh, yeah, right. So, yes, it did work. And it's admitting to them that Mom has bad days too.
Yeah, I am not happy all the time.
Mama needs Jesus. More Jesus today.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I should have worded it that way.
No, but that's a good point too, is like it's not always just like go find a quiet place to pray, and a lot of times that's impossible. It's also there's other needs that need to be filled. Like if I'm not able to work out for like 2 weeks or something, I'm feeling pretty not good. Or if I just need peaceful music on to help calm everything down, that really helps. If I've been cooped up, and we've all been cooped up, then the kids need to get put out. They need to go outside and just too much stimulation. All those things can play a part. And it's just, or am I hungry? All those little things can set off, impatience.
Yes. Right. Totally.
Well, I second all of that. I didn't pray in the morning until probably 4 kids in. And then it was spotty. But in recent years, when it gets chaotic, definitely Gregorian chant. When there is chaos, whether it's in me, in the kids, they're bickering, and it's just like dissension in the house, it's Gregorian chant, loud, quiet, doesn't matter, but the kids all know. I implemented this. So one time we left the kids home alone when we went to a sporting event of Eli's, and the kids called and they were like, Mom, the kids are all fighting. Can you please play Gregorian chant?
No way. Testament.
Yes, it was. It was a testament. And I was like,
amazing.
Yep, getting on Spotify, turning on Gregorian chant.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
Kids were feeling distress and we weren't there.
So funny.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's funny. Rach, I think one time we were on FaceTime and Orlin was like being crazy about something. And he saw like the holy water bottle and he's like, Amen. Amen. And I was like, fine. We probably both need some holy water for me to have patience and for you to calm down. And Rich was like, you've actually been pretty cool this whole time. Like I had, I was like, going crazy, but he always is like, Amen. If he sees like a holy water bottle. And he was actually pretty chill pretty much the rest of the day after I blessed both of us.
Nice. I do remember I was impressed actually.
Except when he asked for the blessing. When I was like, fine.
That's so funny. Going back a little bit, Becca, when you were talking about like the whole vase idea, you're the one who I always quote when I say garbage in is garbage out. Whatever you're also filling your time with when you have the time is also what's going to make you short fused or not. And that's true for anyone in life and not just mothers. If you're just wasting your time listening to stupid things or on Instagram for worthless reasons, scrolling mindlessly, of course you're going to be impatient. Like you're choosing to be selfish in those moments and your garbage in is garbage out. What are you filling yourself with?
Mm-hmm. Good point.
It's
such a good
especially because Instagram or YouTube or whatever, you can even see it in kids when they are on YouTube watching. I'm like, why are you watching someone live their life? Go outside and do what they're doing.
Live
Like,
your own
live
life.
your own life.
When
But
do
the
you ever
kids get angry and stuff. Why? Because they don't realize why they're getting angry, but it's totally because there's a comparison happening. Look at that cool thing that they're getting to do. But it's like, what? You're on Instagram and you see the mom who has it all together, or you're like, oh, I would love to go be on that vacation. She's so lucky. She blah, 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 blah. Like, even if you're not blatantly thinking those things in the moment, you're just filling yourself with worthlessness.
Subconscious.
Yeah, subconsciously. And it's like, now what? Of course you're going to go snap at your kid. Even if you're not the mom who's like wasting the time in front of the kid, but it's like, oh, it's nap time. Let me just sit on my phone endlessly, because we think we're relaxing. We think it's, oh, this is my time.
You think it's filling your cup. It's not.
And then they wake up and you're like still angry. So it's also just having to choose to not choose the lie of relaxing.
I'm going to tell my kids this. Garbage in is garbage out.
Garbage in is
Mm-hmm.
No,
Mhm.
that's so good. I definitely would encourage this, but I know not everyone's situation is as easy or clear. But yeah, I got rid of social media. I think it's been 4 or 5 years now. It was really, really hard at first. I remember like sneaking back on, sneaking. The only person holding me accountable was myself. But it was really hard. Withdrawals, but getting off social media, I can tell. You find other ways to waste your time. Don't be mistaken. But I definitely feel like I don't compare nearly as much. I have so much more contentment over my life than I did before. And I can accept what God has placed before me much easier. So I am very grateful for that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
it's good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Has God ever used your kids in a very specific way to teach you patience or even expose your limits?
I had one example I could think of that really feels like tangible is I've realized about myself. It makes me sad. I'm not really good at showing physical affection to my children, particularly my girls. I don't know. It's like a weird thing in myself that I am just not really touchy-feely. And I'm aware of this now and it bothers me. So I'm just like praying that God takes this away. But for now, I just have to push myself. And so I just find being a little open with my kids sometimes is helpful. So one of my kids, Rosie's very affectionate and she'll come give me hugs. And sometimes I'm just like, it's not a time for a hug or whatever, not good at giving hugs. And then recently I was very convicted. So I was like, you know what, Rosie, I'm sorry. Mommy sometimes isn't good at giving hugs, but I know I still want to hug you. So how about when you really need a hug, or if you can tell mommy's like not paying attention or whatever, just say, Mom, I need a mom hug. So she's totally doing that now. And it makes me take a second like, okay, I can do this. And I give
That's
her a
actually
nice
so cute.
long hug. And it melts me internally and I can enjoy the hug, whatever. It's just kind of a silly quirk that I've realized about myself. So that's been helpful.
Well, that also probably teaches her to not just be so like, Mom. It's like, okay, really need this. So I need a mom.
It's more intentional.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you don't
And then
dismiss
you
it.
understand it too,
Yeah,
that she really does need
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
it. I love that. That's cute.
Ask the question.
Has God ever used your kids in a very specific way to teach you patience or even expose your limits?
You were talking about having done a novena of masses for Daniel. You gave me that advice because I have 2 strong-willed souls. One's like strong-willed, silent, defiant, and one is strong-willed. That's the word I'm looking for. He's boisterous, he's loud, he's impulsive, just the opposite. And they were giving me a run for my money and I was coming unraveled and unglued regularly. And like you were sharing about Daniel, like I probably wasn't joyful with each of their pregnancies because they were coming way sooner than I expected. And so I did a novena of masses with them together one summer, and that was game-changing. Not that we didn't have struggles still, because they're still the same spirited children, but definitely was a game changer in the stresses of parenting and battling daily.
The same daily battle
Mhm.
wasn't there for you
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely had to do fasting, prayer and fasting for a few of the kids, just in trial times too, of the teenagers or the direction their lives were going. Dad did too, to win the situation,
Mm-hmm.
with the direction they were going. Okay.
Is patience something you practice proactively, or is it more of a reaction when things spiral?
What the thought I had was that prayer equals intentionality. That was kind of my thought process. If I'm going to practice patience, then I'm going to be intentional about how I go about my day. Otherwise, I will be reacting and it won't be very intentional.
Good point.
You're also the one I quote often about how in any human relationship, we need to respond and not react.
Which is very hard.
It is very hard, but that's
Yeah.
the actual core of any virtue, is to be able to control the passions, your emotions, and whatever else, your desires, and not react in any of them, but respond to them and with them.
Yeah.
But
Good job.
Oh, it's so hard.
Oh, I know.
React versus respond.
I
That's a
reacted.
mantra.
I reacted a lot.
I mean,
raising teenagers.
Well, it's just a journey. It's a journey. I feel like I used to react more in my kids' early years. And the longer I've been a mom, like I used to, explode and yell and lose my marbles regularly. And now I can keep it together and take a deep breath or walk away and come back and handle the situation thinking about it instead of reacting about it. But it's taken a long time. It's hard. It's really hard.
And then it's at times that when you've reacted instead of responded. There were times when you think through it, okay, I need to apologize to my child for the way I acted.
it's
True. Yeah. So
a very healing moment when you do that too,
Mhm.
for the child and the parent.
It
Mhm.
is.
Yes.
And children are so forgiving. It's
Yes.
the best part because
Yep.
we
All better.
feel like it's harder to swallow our pride and
Yes.
say we're sorry.
So
But when
true.
we do it, our kids are so quick to forgive and act
Yeah,
like we
right.
didn't do anything,
And then
that we didn't hurt them.
it brings the fact that we're human.
Yeah.
We're imperfect. Okay. And within that, it also teaches them that nobody's perfect. No parent is perfect, and that even then when they're parents, they'll realize that, okay, my parents did this too. And so you can forgive yourself in those situations because God is loving and forgiving. And we have to mimic that.
awesome.
Okay, moving on to joy and choosing light in the ordinary. What is something small or ordinary that has brought you big joy recently?
The big joy is having all of my family together. Now that they're all adults, is having everybody come home, everybody get along, all the stories, all the laughter, all the joy. Once you're a mother of adults and you want all your chicks to come home like a hen, all your chicks under your feathers. So, yep, that's big joy.
That's so sweet.
Well, and mine was I had 3 chicks away at a Steubenville conference.
Chicks.
Yeah. And so my middle daughter got to be the big kid for the weekend, and we had cousins over, and she was like the mother hen, and she stepped up. She doesn't usually have to step up. She flies under the radar and doesn't necessarily take a big sibling role, but she did this weekend, and she was leading and bossing and corralling and watching all of her cousins.
Yeah, she did it.
All the
awesome.
babies.
Yep, she did
Yeah,
awesome.
all on her own. Yeah, and stepping up. And that was really sweet to see because she does want to start babysitting. And yeah, that was my big joy.
Yeah.
I would say a big joy is being able to teach a child for the first time how to read. And just in the last year, being able to listen to my daughter read a book and having that first time experience of, wow, like,
It came from you.
yeah,
You were the teacher of it all.
yeah,
That's
it's like
yep.
crazy. And then just a little every day is like, I love when my oldest son holds our baby, our 18-month-old. It's just like so sweet, melts my heart every time. Like seeing him want to pick her up. He begs, she fell asleep in mass and he's over there, keeps incessantly begging me, Mom, please, please, Mom, can I hold her now? Can I hold her now? Please, please, Mom, before she wakes up. So yeah, just to put her on his shoulders and carry her around. That's really awesome to see that. That's amazing.
That's so cute. How has having more kids changed how you experience joy? Has it become more chaotic, more abundant, or something else?
Having a big family, sure, it's chaos. It can be chaos. It's just the busyness of life. But there's definite joys within it. You build community and one looking out for the other and seeing one step up and help another of their own free will. As a parent, that gives you joy to see your children care about another. It's hard to breed selfishness in a big family. You have to care about somebody else beside yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When days feel repetitive, what helps you intentionally rekindle joy?
Talk to Rachel.
That does help. I'll testify.
Oh, thank
Talking
you.
to Rachel,
Wow.
I can turn a bad day good.
Wow,
And I was
guys.
and it may or may not come with a DoorDash. I have received a few DoorDashes on bad days.
It's because you're so far away. I can't come.
She
bring
can't
you
come be a
something.
physical pick me up.
Yeah, I
so
can't.
she sends you a pick me up.
Well, if you live locally, she'll deliver you the coffee herself.
She
Yes.
sure will.
Yeah, right.
That's hilarious.
And if her day's too busy to do anything, she'll just send you like a $10 Starbucks gift card.
Go get yourself a coffee because I can't get you one. To know you is to just be loved by you.
Thank
Yes.
you.
You're a
Aw,
gift.
Yeah,
That's
you
very
are.
sweet. Thank you.
Yeah,
See, that's how we survive.
it is.
So all
I
of you
also
listening,
threw out
you
date
need to
nights.
meet Rachel.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What was your question again?
Yeah, when days feel repetitive.
How do you rekindle joy?
Besides
Besides-
DoorDash and Rachel.
I would say I'm able to like reflect on, for me, I realize how much I love being outside. So sometimes when I get in a rut, we just need to go do something fun and like go have an ocean day. And that's me at home with all my little people. So, but in this season of my life, that's a lot of times what I need is just a change of pace. Or moms will say that in homeschool, like instead of doing your, regular daily routine, just have a game day or just be fun and a little more spontaneous. And that really can change everything. So
Do you feel like you have to force yourself to do that? I'm getting myself out of this.
maybe sometimes, but most of the time I'm just excited because I
Okay.
want to choose something that I want to do. Like if I'm going to rally, it's a lot to rally everybody and do it all myself or whatever. But generally it's because I want to do it. So yeah, that's good.
Is it usually pretty spontaneous and your kids are like, we're doing something fun today? Or you know what? Tomorrow we're going to do this. Or next week we're going to do that. And
I would say it's probably more like that. I think I would like to surprise them more, but I am a bit of a planner and like, okay, well, next week, because tomorrow I still need to get X, Y, and Z done. But yeah, I think it would be fun if I could,
just like wake up and
that
be like,
more.
you know what?
That's what
Screw
I
the
want
day.
to do.
Let's go to the beach today.
Totally. That's what I could think about for next year. It'll be super fun to not tell them, be like, today we're not doing school. And we're going to go do
And be
this.
spontaneous. Would be.
Natalie, do you have anything that you do?
Oh, I don't know. I want to order takeout. I want to throw the dinner or throw the towel in on making dinner or go on a date or,
Yeah.
just,
Change it up.
change the mundane and not let it be the same old, you know?
I would do picnics because Dad did a lot of traveling, so we would spread a tablecloth outside and eat dinner outside on the tablecloth or lunch, whatever. And then if it was, I can specifically remember in the days of Omaha to get myself out of that rut or that low-spiritedness. There was a mom who had several kids, and her last group was twins. And so I knew I felt cooped up, but I would imagine that she would really feel cooped up. So I would call her and say, hey, how about bringing your kids over to come and play with mine?
Yeah.
Mm.
And it's funny how it worked for me, because then in that flipping of thinking of someone else who might need it more, there was a grace in there that God gave me to find a joy in serving someone by letting her have a day off away from kids and taking care of her 5 kids with my 6 kids. And then it would just refill me. And it was a unique way of refilling myself.
Changed up your kids' day,
right? Changed up the
To
kids'
serve
day.
someone else.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
I just think that shows how choosing to be charitable can change your mental state, right? Because when you're selfish, you just become impatient, angry, and whatever.
More selfish.
You become more selfish when you're selfish. Weird. But doing something for someone else, going out of your way for someone else, breaks the cycle of whatever negative headspace you can even be in, because now you're thinking of someone else.
Right.
And not that you don't think about your kids in that, right? But that's the challenge of motherhood. You're in like the every day. It's like, great. I made breakfast. I made lunch. I made dinner. I did the dishes after all of those. And now I'm vacuuming. And now I'm putting my kids to bed, and we're going to do it all day tomorrow. That was great. Yeah. Awesome. Sweet.
Change up the day.
Yeah. And so it's just, you force yourself out of that headspace and
and seeing that for me, that headspace I would be in would be feeling sorry for myself because my husband was always traveling, always gone, and I was doing it all by myself. So by doing that act of service per se, changed.
it's a tangible way of seeing how charity can affect.
Yeah, right.
Gets
Right.
you out of your head. Like, I'm the only one suffering.
Right,
It's just,
exactly.
right.
Yeah, it's like not true at all. Yeah.
Right.
So, it's awesome. How have your children helped you see God's joy or humor in a new way?
By giving me Daniel.
Yeah, he's a special one. He shows the whole world.
The Lord's humor.
He is.
God showed us he had humor when he created Daniel.
Daniel, I love it.
Funny guy.
Yes,
So fun.
Daniel, if you ever hear this podcast, we all love you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just think
It's a hard one for me.
Yeah. I don't know. I was thinking about the purity of children and how they're just full of life straight out of the womb.
No,
You know?
Awe and wonder and learning all of those things when they're little.
And I didn't take this note that they just want us. And I'm like, it's like God. God just wants us. You know, it's just the beauty of children.
So true.
Yeah.
Mine is so different. My unexpected joy is in watching my teenagers grow and blossom, and in particular Eli, like watching him have a girlfriend and inviting his girlfriend to confession and mass, and they're both in a public high school where God is like non-existent, and he just has the courage to invite her and take her and keep taking her to mass every week, and that just like
That's
like
joy.
a joy
Yes.
to your heart that you just like only hope for. I don't know. It's just beautiful to watch your kids come into their own, and make good choices.
That's amazing. I love it. Moving on to the gift of motherhood. What has motherhood revealed about God's love that nothing else could have?
Yes. This was kind of profound for me, reflecting on this. It was just like, motherhood is day after day after day doing these things. And I don't know about you, but I end the day so often like, I failed in this area. I failed in this area. I did this today. I yelled here or whatever. But the one thing about God and the one thing about how this all works is that each day is new. And his mercy is new every morning. And that yesterday doesn't define my today. And that's definitely what I would take away from that.
And to piggyback off of that also, like your kids are so forgiving that when you apologize, they have unconditional love for you still, even though you hurt them or even if you fail them, that it just is like showing God's mercy, his unconditional forgiveness and love for us, that yes, that is is our children.
Exactly.
Yep. Yep. His great mercy, his great love is all in our children.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, when we lived in California, always worrying about protecting them and trying to keep them close and protect them, and how much I loved them. And it dawned on me at one adoration that if I love my child and my spouse this much, how much more does God love? It hit me so profoundly that God loves them even more than I love them.
Mm-hmm.
That his love is so deep and so profound that his care for us is overwhelming.
Because that's all that it's in our capacity.
Right. And God loves you that much. And
Yeah.
it was profound.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. What do you hope your children remember most about growing up in your home?
This was hard.
I just want them to feel like they were noticed and loved. And I'm not 100% certain that they're going to all leave that way, but it's just always in the back of my mind. Like, did you feel noticed? Did I listen to you? Did you feel important? Did you feel special? But did you feel loved? Yeah, I don't know.
Well put.
Because lots of days with teenagers, especially when there's attitudes, you're like, wow, I don't know if I hugged you. We were probably fighting. Or when they're little, like, did I tuck you in? Like, yeah, it's easy to be lazy and skip those things. So
I would just add, like, I hope that they leave and know that Jesus was everything, right? Like that they looked at mom and dad and they knew that we trusted him. They knew that we relied on him and that we went to him when we messed up. That, and definitely that they felt loved and valued for who they are in their weaknesses and in their strengths. Yeah, that they felt unique, especially when there's many of them, that they feel special for who they are. Yeah. Awesome.
How has becoming a mother changed how you viewed your own parents or your upbringing?
It only makes me love you more.
Oh, that's sweet.
No, seriously. No, it's like you're in it and you're like, this is hard. This isn't easy, And just like, I'm completely imperfect. My kids are going to have beef with me, when they're older. It's a humbling process. So it's not an easy job.
And that is a wrap, at least for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2 of this awesome conversation with Natalie, Becca, and my mom, Cindy.
Thanks, everyone, for listening tonight. If you've been enjoying Wannabe Saints, we love your support. You can help us keep the podcast going by joining us on Patreon, where you'll get access to extra content and bonus material like our newsletter or handmade rosaries or merch. Be sure to follow us on Instagram or Facebook to stay connected and see what's coming up. Thanks for listening to the Wannabe Saints podcast.
If you have a question or topic you would like us to cover, reach out to us at wannabesaintspodcast@gmail.com or on Instagram at wannabe_saints.
You can find the link in our show notes.
Thanks for listening, and God bless.